Come kick me out.
Nope.
Yo, fucking pussy.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, but guess what?
Yo, no one's scared of you, bro.
Don't worry about it.
No one's scared of you.
Yo, I don't even need to pound you, nigga.
Nope.
No, you soft.
Okay. Yep. You're committing a crime.
Hey,
Look
yo,
at you.
Fresh.
Look at you.
Yo, Fresh, get away from this nigga, man. This nigga gonna ruin your life, dog. Real shit, Fresh. Get away from this nigga. This nigga gonna pull you down, nigga. You better than this, bro. Chris, all y'all niggas is better than this. All y'all niggas is better than this. Why'd you come to his house, bro?
Why'd you come to my house, bro?
You better than this.
Why are you coming to my house?
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Duke Reacts, part of the Duke and Don channel. And guys, oh my goodness, this beef, just when you thought could not get any crazier, things just come out of the woodworks to surprise you. We got a lot of stuff to cover today. But first of all, I want to let you guys know something, all right? Remember that avalanche I was talking about? I said it was going to come, and it's going to come so freaking hard. These guys aren't going to see what hit them. Well, guys, that bitch is almost here. Before we get to this, though, there has been some crazy, interesting updates to this story. And shout out to the new subscribers out there. Man, you guys are on top of it, all right? So this video and this clip was sent to me by a subscriber, and man, guys, things are getting crazy out there. And don't worry about it, you came to the right place, because we are gonna break every single thing down so you guys can understand what the heck is going on. All right, we aren't gonna be reacting to the full video. All right, it's about like an hour long, and you know, they go into different points, but there are a couple key topics that I want you guys to focus into, and we're gonna key into together, because what these key topics is that these two gentlemen talk about is the one thing that has confirmed a lot of us suspicions that a lot of guys who's been around the information in the Fresh and Fit ecosystem, right, they kind of already know, but haven't really vocalized that yet. And it's some of the suspicions we've kind of already had. All right, and in this particular clips, these two gentlemen, right, their name is Lars J and Ayendi. Okay, and now these guys were the back end crew to the entire show. So we talking about the procurement of the girls and setting up parties and things like that. They are it. They even go into some crazy things like the scams and all that stuff that these guys are going to. Guys, we have a jam-packed show, so stay tuned, all right? So part of the things that I found interesting about this clip, guys, all right, is the fact that how they initially, at the start of it, they talked about the procurement of the women, right? Because big rumor that's going on right now is that obviously Myron Gaines pays for the box. Okay, he uses his podcast to leverage to get the box. Okay, so now as an added information that we're getting, it turns out that yes, Myron, a majority of the girls that were there, actually all of the girls that were there, they were all apparently not getting paid as much as we thought they were getting paid. Matter of fact, the guy who was getting paid instead of the girls was this man Ayendi. Okay, so keep that in mind as we play this video, but let's go ahead and get into it without further ado. All right,
not only have they lied on us and tried to pit us against each other and do all this snake stuff, but they also have been lying to their audience. And at the end of the day,
where I was going next.
At the end of the day, that's the second biggest thing that I care about.
That's the first fucking thing.
Is getting the first thing for me is lying on me. The second thing is lying to the audience. But they're both
niggas lie every day.
Yeah. Here's the thing though. The thing is that they've been lying to their audience about so many things, including scamming y'all. And we have direct proof and evidence of all of this. And one more thing before we get into all that scamming stuff is this. Myron directly has no original ideas. I didn't believe this until it actually happened to me, but he actually steals from many people within the manosphere, their ideas or thoughts or whatever. Sometimes he repackages it, and in other times he directly just says it. For example, that whole thing that he's been using for the past few weeks or months or whatever about, women thinking in possibilities instead of probabilities. Well, if you look at one of the last times that I was on the actual podcast, I directly said that, and he even repeated, that's really good. And then from that day forward has been using it. And if you guys need that,
let me stop it right there before I let him go on. Okay, so what he's talking about, okay, I can see what he's talking about, because in the last video that we made, essentially we talked about the theory versus practicality piece of it, right? And when you talks about Myron taking things from different people and kind of putting together and making his own thing, it makes a lot of sense, right? Because when we talk about, and I remember the last video I was talking about how like the whole Rollo Tomasi thing with the rational male, right? This book, and I was was talking about how all this shit is all theory, right? It's not one of those things where you can read it, you get the kind of factual theoretical perspective of how the dating world and the dating market operates, but realistically you have to go out there and try. You have to get out there and get some practical experience, because it's kind of like this, right? Think about it. If you have a job, right? If you have a job, you just got started at this corporation, we'll call it Corporation X, all right? You go in, and how many times you take your training, and as soon as you're done taking this standardized corporate training that has all the possible information you're gonna need in that you're gonna need to succeed at that job, and then come to find out when you get out into the sales floor, it's actually really not the case at all, right? It's completely different from reality. That's exactly what it is. So what we're dealing with here is a bunch of guys who've been consuming Myron Gaines, Fresh Prince CEO, right? They've been consuming a lot of this content and they spew it out. So what they do is, if you really think about it, right, it's kind of weird, because when you look at these guys talk, right, they're almost like two different groups. And realistically, if no one else is gonna say it, I'm gonna say it, right? You guys came for the good, honest to God, raw truth, all right? And I'm gonna tell you what's going on in the male self-improvement space, what a lot of these big channels who are in the space aren't going to tell you. Guys, if you haven't known this by now, there is a civil war going on, all right? And it's going on between two major groups in the male self-improvement space, all right? On the one hand, you got the red pill guys, all right? Now, these guys, they follow the Rollo Tomassi book, all right? That is their godfather. These guys believe in all the theories of the women and stuff like that. Essentially, that is the Fresh and Fit camp right there. And then you have the Manosphere. And the Manosphere, it was led by the godfather, Kevin Samuels, all right? This guy, they're more towards the relationship and getting people together, and it's more of the less toxic version of the male improvement side, all right? Not saying that the red pill isn't helpful in any way. It definitely is. There's a reason why they call it the red pill. However, when you go too deep into that hole, it's very, very hard to get out. All right, so you wanna just keep that in mind for a second. But that's what's going on between these two groups, and they are clashing right now. And he's talking about Myron, stealing stuff from all these different content creators from all these different groups. It makes a lot of sense, because what do they talk about, right? They talk about the high value nonsense, right? The six figures, the $100,000 a year, the 6 foot, all that nonsense that really doesn't matter when it comes to relationships in the first place. Okay, so where do you think they got that from, right? That piece is all the whole manosphere stuff that they talk about, right? Women wanting guys who make over 6 figures and things like that, and dealing with them. So that's what they have to deal with on that side. And then on top of that, what Myron then does, it combines those little questions and then adds the entire theory, the rational male theory, with the whole women and how they behave, and the promiscuousness, the hypergamy, all that stuff that's there. So when you gumble all that nonsense together, you get Myron Gaines and Fresh Prince CEO. All right, so that's essentially what they're talking about here.
Proof or evidence or what have you of all the different things like that. We have everything.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that. I think that it's fine that if you're taking information from other places, you know what I'm saying?
If you make it your own, but not when you direct.
Right. I mean, listen.
Utilize it, and then you say it as though it's your own, without crediting your source.
Listen, each one teach one, and then we all could learn, right? And these platforms should be educational first and foremost, because at the end of the day, the reason why we need these spaces, because ain't nobody out here for men. There's really nobody that's really out here trying to support men and help men and give them that type of guidance, that type of outlet. So I think that's important. There's a difference between regurgitating shit from the rational male book and actually living these experiences, actually having these escapades, actually having these failures and these successes with women. Myron is not an in-the-field dude. He's a spectator dude. He talks about my...
That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. So when you want to ask why all these guys, when they listen to these guys in their podcasts and their shows, and why they're so toxic, like our last guy that we had on our show, why the mentality that these men that follow Fresh and Fit, why is it that they are what they are? You look into it, they're being taught by a guy who hasn't done it. Matter of fact, these motherfuckers are getting corporate standardized training right now and run around thinking that's reality. And that's what this man's talking about. And that's part of why I know he's kind of a real one and he knows what he's talking about, because, and I say kinda because we'll get to that in a second here. You'll see what I'm talking about. But that's what he's talking about. Theory versus practicality. I've said this before. All right, a lot of guys who listen to these theories, who listen to these goddamn stupid ass facts. All right, you are doomed to fail because that is not reality. You're getting that corporatized training from guys who also have that corporatized training with zero practical experience. Meaning, when you actually go out there and you deal with the woman, they're not gonna behave like the statistics. Most of them are not. All right, I'm gonna just tell you that right now. Most of them not. A lot of them are different. A lot of them have different personalities. People aren't standardized. Now, does that mean that that's going towards everyone? No. Obviously, there are people like that that exist out there, and we see the most extreme ones represented on their show. However, it's one of those things that a lot of young men don't understand today. It's like, you guys, you're listening to people. The reason why you're so confused, the reason why everything just seems so out of place is because you're listening to guys who don't really have it like they say they do. And that's a problem.
Me being in the dating Olympics, he was watching that Olympics. He wasn't one of the athletes in that motherfucking Olympics. He wasn't wearing a gold medal at the end of that. Knock it the fuck off. So that's what I'm trying to say. There's a difference between somebody that's like book smart, they've read up on other people's experiences that are documented, and then there's somebody that's been dealing with it, trial and error. They've experienced it in their life. Who've actually been through it. Exactly. And that's the break right there, is that these guys are talking about these things like they've experienced it. They're just students of the red pill.
So with that being said, that is the before we even get to them scamming their actual subscribers, their actual VIP party goers.
In many ways.
So we get a message today or yesterday. Yesterday. I got a message yesterday, but I don't respond to it.
I got it today.
Let me pause that real quick, because what they're talking about, the whole VIP nonsense, I believe it's one of those 100K or 200K parties that they were celebrating about, and they're going to go into details of how Fresh and Fit, or mainly Myron Gaines, kind of finesse the entire situation and then put the blame and the responsibility on these guys. So let's pay attention.
To it at first, simply because I thought it had something to do with the Auburn preach thing, and I want to stay away from anything that has nothing to do with me. But lo and behold, we eventually do get in contact with them today. And what do we find out? We find out that a group of people that have been to the party who paid hundreds of dollars to be there, at a minimum $100 to $500 to be there, that Myron that they wanted a refund because the party wasn't lit the way. They were promised that there would be a bunch of girls, certain type of drinks, a certain type of, aesthetic or whatever, and it wasn't.
Which they would have been.
They said on their platform, the FreshandFit people said on their platform that it was lit and all this, and they lied to all of you guys. The people that were there have screenshots, they have recordings and all that. The party was a failure. It was a failure, which is why.
I had fun though.
Me too, actually. Where was I going? Oh yeah, so the party was a failure, according to them, and a lot of the people that were there, and yet they tried to blame and pin it on us, to their subscribers. Now, we find out today, this magical little thing that the subscribers say that they contacted Myron, and when they were in contact with Myron, I think it was face-to-face, what happened? Yeah, face-to-face the next day, we find out that that when they asked for a refund, that Myron tells them basically, no, they're not getting a refund. And the reason that's why they're not getting a refund is because me and Ayendi, us two here, were the ones who collected the money, got the money. We basically stole the money, I guess.
Not stole the money, just said we had the money.
Okay.
Now, I want to be extremely fair here, okay? Because here's the thing. Those of you guys who think this channel we're against Fresh and Fit and all that, I'm gonna make this very clear. We are not against Fresh and Fit, okay? We are not against Myron Gaines. We're not against all these people. What we're simply talking about is, hey, if you guys are gonna say things, you're gonna do things, you're gonna sell things to young, impressionable minds who, as we have witnessed on this podcast, will buy into your program, you got to make sure that you're legit. You got to make sure what you're educating to our young boys, it makes sense. Now with these guys, all right, I understand where they're coming from, but keep in mind, they don't have proof. All right, they don't have proof just yet. So right now we're rolling in blind. We don't know what's happening. All right, but based on account of what's going on, they decided to come out and kind of share their story. But I just want you guys to keep that in mind. We don't have receipts. All right, ain't no receipts out here whatsoever.
Well, I don't know that we had their money.
I'm not even sure how that correlates.
And that by us being fired or kicked off the show, that was they have no way. That the actual VIP members have to come to us to get the money, which is why they were contacting us to find out more about it. So when we get them,
listen. All I'm saying is that this is like Myron does a lot of shit like this. You know, he does whatever he has to do to not pay a motherfucker.
Yeah, but how stupid do you have to be to think that they wouldn't contact us to get it?
That's where you're wrong, motherfucker. You know what? I agree with him on that part. He does whatever he has to do to make sure he doesn't pay for that that box. But everything except for his podcast, that's all fair game. It's like, hey, you want to get this clout? Come on. I would gladly sell my business for that box, right? But give you my cash for it? Hell no. But just the thought out.
Listen, first of all, he knows they're gonna contact us. He just doesn't give a fuck. Because I called this motherfucker today and he blatantly told me that not only did he not say that, but that nobody asked him for a refund. And I'm thinking that's highly unlikely. That bullshit that you put on, I find it really hard to believe that nobody wanted a refund. So it's like, he's just a lying ass motherfucker.
Listen.
But anyway, I don't really give a fuck about Myron lying. My concern,
he scammed
his
actual subscribers
he scams his subs.
out of thousands of dollars for his party failing.
Now, this is just one instance that we know, right? They're talking about the podcast, they're talking about the party and all that stuff and how they're scamming the subscribers. But I want you guys who are either former Fresh and Fit fans or current Fresh and Fit fans, especially you young guys out there. I know some of you haters are going to be in the comment section. However, I want you guys to understand something, all right? Just listen with open ears. Now, granted, we don't have the facts, but with everything coming out right now, with all these different allegations, with all the receipts that are already out right now against these guys, the reason why they're dropping subs like crazy, just listen to this stuff with an open mind, all right? There could be very well a possibility that you're being scammed right now by these guys. Okay, it's already proven that these guys realistically don't know what they're talking about when it comes to dating. You could tell, like you could tell just by listening to them talk, the way they talk at it. It's all just theory. You could tell if, for instance, we're looking at Ayendi and Lars J, right? These two guys, I get the impression that they're people. Right, they're people, right? They're easy to get along with people. They can have conversations with people easy. They talk like they have it, right? But with Myron and Fresh doesn't really do much talking. Let's just face it, Fresh. Where your balls, son? All right. So, but with Myron, when he talks, it's just there's no emotion there. And one of the craziest thing that these like guys like to push out there is, you know, the whole being a tough, rough, rootin' tootin' alpha guy, right? And realistically, it's like you do realize that alpha guys, they have emotions. They have emotions, especially because it's needed when you're dealing with people. Because no matter how we, men or women, no matter how we like to, you know, twist things and spin things, we all have emotions, all right? It's just the way of the Stoics. We are able to control that emotion better. We are able to deal with it and channel it through different means. And people who don't understand that fact, they wild out and they act out in different ways. Okay, so you want to keep that in mind. But these guys, when they talk, when they do all the stuff, the Myron Gaines, and he's throwing out these fasts and he's asking these ladies these different questions, you got to realize it's all part of their program, all right? Because these guys, they're not doing it like they say they're doing it.
Fired us to railroad us to make it seem as though we were the reason the party didn't go well, which is not the case at all.
Hold on. I don't want you to downplay or belittle the scamming or limit it to the party. When I'm talking about scamming, I ain't talking about the party.
Oh no.
I don't really care about the party. I just don't like the fact that he told people that I have their money, and all these people looking at me like, Ayendi, you have my money? That's
no,
far,
I view that as a scam.
Listen, that's as far as I can.
Hey, I guarantee you, any one of you motherfuckers out there, all right, let's just be real. If this nigga for real had your money, which one of y'all niggas gonna step to him? Just be honest. Which one of y'all niggas honestly would step to this dude, bro? This nigga's biceps are bigger than Lars J's head. Just gotta throw that bitch out there.
What I'm talking about is scamming the clients or scamming the subs is that you have to understand the degree of behind the scenes talk that is had. So these things that I'm saying about Myron, I'm not like making assumptions. I'm not like trying to guess where he's coming from. This motherfucker verbalizes this shit when the cameras is off. So he says that he doesn't give a fuck about the subs. He says that he doesn't respect you dudes. He thinks that you guys are a bunch of sad, lonely, pathetic losers. And what he's doing is he's capitalizing on your loneliness. And you're right. He's monetizing your despair the same way.
Boom. And some of you guys, I've read some of the comments and I've seen some of the other podcasts that talk about this, but this is exactly right? They talk about how look at 360, for example. And for those guys who know, we did a live with 360, and he's one of the guys who was kind of the foot soldiers for these FreshandFit crew, right? And did their bidding at behest of their leader, Myron Gaines, right? And this guy, sending what he did to Anna undeservedly, this is what I'm talking about. And on that same podcast, this man called himself a nobody. He called himself a nobody, someone who's been religiously listening to these two bozos who were supposed to teach him how to be better men, right? What? You're nobody, but you got a truck? What the fuck is a truck gonna do for you? You see what I'm saying? So it's a toxic mindset, and we understand now, if we're getting back into it, these guys don't care. You can tell the difference when someone's giving you advice when they genuinely care about you, and you can tell when someone's giving you advice just to make money. And a lot of things these guys do is centered around that, okay? And if you don't believe me, look at the two people they initially started the beef with. Look at Abra and Preach in comparison, direct contrast to these two motherfuckers right here, okay? What do you see? You see Abba, he'd go on live. He'd go on live. He came on this podcast.
I promise you, bro, you're going to look back on this moment and realize that you sending that DM and then you coming on this podcast afterwards to defend that shit is crazy. You also need to have some accountability for what you did, brother. Nobody made you go do that. You did. And you owe that woman an apology because what you said was fucking foul.
Facts. He didn't have to, but he came on this podcast, all right? And it's one of those things where it's a humbling thing. For the same thing that happened with these two bozos, you got to pay thousands upon thousands of dollars. And there are multiple videos out there confirming these things. These guys don't care about you. They care about living that warped lifestyle. They care about living that Miami Vice kind of lifestyle that doesn't exist. The cars, the women, and it doesn't make any sense. Cities like that, big media cities like that care more about the optics than what the actual soul and the character of the people, it corrupts you. It corrupts you absolutely. You start to become exactly what it is that you despise. Now, we don't know exactly if Myron has transformed to be this person or he's always been this person, all right? But we understand that, and you'll understand in just a second, that kind of mentality poisons, and it not only just poisons your soul, but the souls around you.
But the fucking weight loss industry takes advantage of overweight people, selling them a bunch of fucking diets and products that don't fucking work, but they're taking advantage of people's despair. And that's what he's doing. So it's very predatory and it's fucking disgusting. And I didn't notice this shit today because a motherfucker said that, yo, Myron told me you have my money from the party. I feel like I'm being taken. No, I noticed this about him from the first couple times I was fucking at the studio behind the scenes listening to how these niggas talk about their subs. And they encourage that type of mentality and behavior on everyone else. So when you got guys like fucking Chris was a fucking sweetheart. Okay, he's becoming a piece of shit because he's there with Myron. Okay, so now you got a guy that used to
Time out. Who's Chris? Is Chris that dude that keeps saying that looks like Drake? I don't think we've ever seen Chris before. But anyways,
fucking gentle fucking teddy bear. Now every opportunity he gets, he's fucking talking to women condescending. He's disrespecting them. He's, yo, ladies, look at me in the eye. Listen to what I'm saying, because I don't have to repeat myself. So listen, it's like, what the fuck is? That's not even Chris's character.
There's so much that goes off. There's so much that goes on off camera. It would be way too much to even fit into this video. So
right,
we made.
Hey, Ayendi and Lars J. All I'm saying is, if y'all better come with the receipts, because these are some heavy allegations, and I want to give you brothers the benefit of the doubt. I want to, but I don't trust people's words, and you can't do that anymore. You got to come with the receipts. You got to come with the facts. Otherwise, it's just talking he said, she said kind of nonsense. And we're trying to get away from that. All right. So right now, everything is just a grain of salt. We're taking that as it is. But just keep in mind, the one thing I want to get you guys understand is you never really know what is going on behind the scenes. If you want to really know a person, all right, take a look at them. Take a look at what you got to see how they behave when the camera's not watching. You got to see how they act. You see how they treat people when the eyeballs that matter isn't on them. All right, and these guys, they've been, and there are pictures out there on there with these guys being clearly behind the scenes. So they know about what's going on behind the scenes versus what's actually happening. Remember when we all used to think Ellen was a very nice, cute little lady, right? All of a sudden, time to find out this bitch was a tyrant, right? Terrorizing everybody and the whole crew in that little station and whatnot. So the thing is, and when that scandal came out, it was huge and it was very damaging to her reputation. And why was that? Because she built a reputation off of something that wasn't real to begin with, and that's who Ellen was to the core. And at that point in time, when you build something without integrity, when you build something without authenticity, what essentially happens is you can only fake it for so long. So I'm going to tell you guys right now at the Fresh and Fit podcast, I hope you guys are fucking listening. Myron Gaines, Walter Weeks. All right, pay attention. You can only fake it till you make it for so fucking long. Because if this is who you guys are on the inside, it doesn't matter what the fuck your comeback is going to be, all right? You got to fix the rot on the inside before you decide to come out and teach other people. Otherwise, more shit like this is going to happen because your shit's going to stagnate with the fools that are blindly following you right now, who are too dumb to fucking realize the situation and the predicament you guys have put them in.
Subsequent more videos to
we will
really get into.
We will. What the point I'm trying to get across is that the same level of disdain that Myron has for women is the same that he has for the subs. I want you guys to understand that. You guys are in the same category as the women to him. Myron has been on the show several times challenging women to define misogyny. Tell me how I'm misogynist. You're calling me a misogynist? Prove it. Myron is a fucking misogynist because he has said to me on several occasions, Myron Gaines, fucking hate women.
Yeah.
That is the definition of misogyny by his words, by his terms.
I have also directly heard him on multiple occasions say, I hate these bitches. I can't stand these women.
The amount of times that my woman has been out to eat or been at the studio, and this motherfucker has never said hello to her, he's never shaked her hand, he's never greeted her or addressed her.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, that's major disrespect. That is fuck all that. So okay, look, I don't care if that's what he said. Look, because right now at this point we're dealing with he said, she said. So when he's saying I heard Myron Gaines say I hate all women, I don't fucking know. It's what you heard. I wasn't there. All right, come with the fucking receipts. However, all right, listen, man. If this is your business partner and he comes in with his lady and you don't acknowledge her, that's fucking weird, bro. that means you're on a whole different level. And the thing is, the whole I hate women thing, the reason why it makes it so easy to believe is because you see the way he treats the women on the show, right? And that's something where it's just like the way the voice, and even most of the women have mentioned this before, right? They've mentioned like, hey, when he's doing this, like it just seems like the anger is coming from a real deep core place, all right? Now, what does that remind you of? Especially when you watch some of the kick-out shows and the way he treats some of these ladies on the show. It reminds you of one of these freaking incels, right, that haven't had, or these, these black pillars or whatever, that don't have or had very little experiences with women, grew up, got resentful, and now they're in the opportunity to get power. They're doing the exact same thing. They're unleashing all the frustrations, all the hate, all the craziness they've been feeling towards women since they were young, but now they finally have the power to get in that position and do whatever it is they do. This is what happens. So keep that in mind. It's really not that hard to believe, but we need the facts.
Dude, what the fuck is your problem? This is my woman. This is my lady. Have some fucking respect. So when he's jumping out the box and talking shit about fucking, Preach's wife, you have to understand, I'm relating to this because he doesn't seem to understand that this is a different line you're crossing. There's a difference between some random single woman that you think that you can disrespect because she has a vagina and a man's woman. So this is obviously a guy who doesn't have this experience in his life. Just like Abba was saying, the only person that's going to say the stupid things that these guys say are guys that don't have experiences. You obviously haven't paid for quality box before if you're saying this.
And that makes a whole lot of sense. And the reason why a lot of guys, especially someone myself, that just got up in arms and going at this dude for a while is because I was married. I have a daughter. So it's one of those things when you're seeing stuff like that, you understand that, yo, I've had experiences with women, right? Some good, some bad. But I have a daughter. I'm growing her up to be a wonderful woman for some man someday. And you're telling me what you're saying. If someone would have said what this man said to my wife, that's why it's like, yo, dumb fighting words no matter what. And for someone to be so comfortable to insult a wife, listen, it's not like it's somebody's girlfriend. It's not like somebody's girls that they're just for the night or whatever it is. This is someone that a man decided to make his. A man decided to build a legacy with. That's important. Men don't play with marriages like that because we know it's something that doesn't benefit us to begin with, and if we're taking a massive risk to hop into that mess in the first place. So when we decide to do that, we very well make sure that that's the woman for us, and that woman is gonna do it. All right, and anybody else that comes in between us in that situation, you just might lose your damn head. And that's what he's talking about here. So when he says this guy's speaking without experience in this stuff, that's right, because you're making fun of like dude being married like it's a bad thing. You know, that's what a lot of these red pillars believe, like being married is a bad thing. You're building a legacy, bruh. It's a bad thing when you choose the wrong girls. If you keep watching shows like this, you keep watching Fresh and Fit, you're guaranteed to get screwed over by a girl. You're guaranteed, because what they're trying to teach you to do is play a game that they're not playing themselves. And guess what? These broads will finesse you. They will finesse you, hands down, because you're weak in your emotion, just like your fucking leader over here.
Stupid shit. Just like if you're gonna be having a dispute with another man and you mention his woman, you mention his wife, you obviously have never had a wife.
Could kick me out.
No, yo,
fucking pussy.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, but guess what?
Yo, no one's scared of you, bro.
Don't worry about it.
No one's scared of you.
Yo, I don't even need to pound you. Nigga.
No.
All right, before we get into this one, all right, so what's happening in this scene right now is essentially my man's pulled up. All right, my man's pulled up in the middle of a podcast, yo. You can't make this shit up. I'm telling you, bro, we are living in a goddamn matrix right now. So this dude pulls up, Ayendi pulls up to the podcast, right? Now, here's the crazy thing, because a lot of people from the Fresh and Fit guys, the fanboys, they're saying, oh, he broke in, he busted the door and came right in. So I want you guys to, first of all, pay attention to the door, all right? Because I've seen a door being kicked in before, and that bitch does not look like it. But pay attention, all right?
Soft.
Okay, yep, you're committing a crime.
Hey,
Look at you.
Fresh.
Look at you.
Yo, Fresh, get away from this nigga, man. This nigga gonna ruin your life, dog. Real shit, Fresh, get away from this nigga. This nigga gonna pull you down, nigga. You better than this, bro. Chris, all y'all niggas is better than this. All y'all niggas is better than this. Why you come to his house, bro?
Why you come to my house, bro?
You better than this.
Why you come to my house,
You understand what I'm saying? Because you's a bitch. You been
okay.
Time out. I want you guys to pay attention, all right? So at this point in time, Myron Gaines has a gun behind his back right now. He's got a piece right behind him right now. So there's a whole reason why old boy isn't stepping to him right now and cracking his head in, is because the dude's got a weapon. All right, so just keep that in mind.
Y'all didn't avoid me, nigga, so I brought it to you.
Bro, no one is scared of you. No one is scared of you. Nigga, you're a clout chaser. You're a clout chasing bum, bro. You're a clout chasing bum.
Because you running your mouth and I
You're
check
a clout
you,
chasing
nigga.
bum. You ain't checking nobody.
Nigga, everything about
Get
you.
the fuck out of here, bro.
Why
Ain't nobody scared of you. You're a bum. You're broke. Look at you.
What you got?
You're committing a crime right now. You're a bum, bro. You're a bum.
And you know what? It's
You're a fucking bum.
It's worth it to prove to the world that you ain't nothing.
All right, step inside and let's see you prove.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this right now. You didn't prove shit to the world, bro. Like, the only thing you proved is like you kind of acted like a bitch, bro. Like, I'm gonna be real. I'm fair on both sides, dude. That was a bitch move to like just pull up to this dude's house. All right, mind you, this was after this interview this dude just did, right? So this was after the interview during the show. You want to talk about being a man, bro? I'm gonna just hold up. That was dumb. That was fucking dumb. If you had the fucking receipts like you said you did, you would have just fucking behaved like a goddamn man and showed up with the receipts. That would do way more fucking damage than pulling up to this dude's house. Yeah, it makes for a spectacle. It does for all that. But realistically, optic-wise, guys, you gotta pay attention. This is not the right way to go. So even you, my guy, this was an emotional move. All right? And I got my own theories on why this is happening.
I already did.
Step inside, prove to the world.
Stop trying to incriminate me.
Step inside. Step inside, bro. You already broke in. You already broke in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To defend your house. You okay?
The door is perfectly fine.
It's gonna be the last time you live. Come on in right now.
Last time I lived.
Yep.
You
Come in right
my
now,
life.
bro. Come in right now. Come in right now, bro. You come in right now. You threatening my life right now. You threatening my life right now.
Time out. All right, pay attention. Just the anger in this man's voice, right? The anger in this man's voice. This is the last time you'll live. Like, damn, bro. That's some cold ass fucking words, bro.
Y'all see how much of a coward this motherfucker is. He
Exactly.
won't even defend his home.
Exactly.
He won't even defend
You
his
ain't coming in though.
home.
Are you?
Yo,
You ain't coming in, are you?
Yo, Myron.
You ain't coming in,
I
are you?
already came in several times.
Fuck outta here,
you
bro.
can't win this with your lying ass tongue.
Yeah,
You can't win this with your lying ass tongue.
You not even coming in because you already know. You doing this for the internet, bro. You're a bum. You're doing this for the internet.
Ain't nobody said it was
Ain't
going on the
nobody
internet.
said nothing to you. I said
You
no.
the one that pushed you on the
It
internet.
is what it is.
You know
You're
what?
a loser, bro.
Hey, you know what?
We documented this for my protection.
I should put it on the internet.
Yeah, put it. Put
Hey,
it.
so you ain't safe in your hallway?
Put it on the internet.
You the one with a gun.
You're committing a
You the
crime.
one with a gun and you scared to come in your own hallway. Fresh, get away from this dude, bro. You better than this, man. You don't need this motherfucker.
I don't know why you're doing this, bro.
Fresh, you better than this, bro.
You're better than this too.
Fresh, you better. I know I am. And he brought me down to this level, but this is what it takes to show.
That's not what it takes to be a man, bro. You never ever let low lives get you down like that, because when you get down to the level, you're really no different. Just like right now, you're kind of acting like a bitch, bro. Like, real talk, trying to appeal to Fresh, nah, bro. He's a grown-ass man. Let him make his own decisions. If he wants to follow his dear leader to the damn grave, that's where their fucking podcast is gonna go. But you getting involved in this shit now, not only does it make you look bad, not only does it take away your credibility that you were talking about in the last videos and your other videos, but realistically, you're giving him unneeded power. You see how fast they posted this shit on the internet? You see how fast they posted this shit? They knew. Right? Because they got the smoke, right? But all the other stuff that he's talking about, oh, I'm going to do it at 9 p.m. on Monday. You just got to find out. And we're only going to do it for our loyal subs. Yeah, you Fresh and Fit fanboys out there, you get to pay us to ask us what happened, and we'll give you the receipts. Like, dude, don't allow yourself to let low lives get you down in your level. That's just what they do.
No, what it takes to
as
show
a man, this level is too far.
Fresh, how many times did I invite this motherfucker to come and see me? How many times did I invite this motherfucker to come and see me?
I got it. Can I say something?
Please say something, Mom.
Okay, so realistically, there's a lot of women in here.
Wide open. Y'all got niggas busting through this shit.
So we're gonna need to let us get up out of here.
Nah, it was you and you were recording a rapist. What are you talking about?
Oh, I don't know that. I'm sorry. Let me know.
Sorry, this
Can I go get the
Chris, you better than this too, bro.
Give me the
This motherfucker right here.
Come on, whoever want to leave can leave.
Wait,
I got
who's
beat up
that?
with my fucking father and my
Wait.
brother on Wednesday. I don't give a fuck about it.
Time out. Is that Chris? That's what that nigga look like? Is that what niggas say look like Drake? That nigga looks like Terrence Howard's younger cousin named Austin. What the fuck is this shit, bro? God damn. Oh my god, that's Chris. Holy shit. Alright, that nigga don't look like Drake. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
That's my first day.
Have a great night, cause
Y'all man, weak ass.
it's on this side, my love. Come on.
Yeah.
Soft. Look at me and calling the police like a fucking bitch.
weird.
Yo, Fresh.
Have a great
Get from
night.
around this nigga, man. Yo, Chris. I'm serious. Chris, get from around this nigga, man. Do better.
Good night.
Myron.
Yo,
Myron, it's done.
Ayendi, ain't nobody scared of you, bro. Ain't nobody scared of you. You just committed a crime, you talking shit, making accusations?
I just wanted to let you know, my
No, you're
Alright, so yeah, that was it. I mean, it got into a screaming match, back and forth, and you both acted like little bitches. I'm just gonna be real. I mean, Myron was a bitch, but I mean, you were an even bigger bitch for doing this. Realistically, it did not help you whatsoever. So I gotta be fair here. But one thing that we missed, all right, and I want you to pay attention because it's gonna give us a little bit of insight around the ladies that these guys are recruiting onto the show. That young lady that was in the red that was just kind of walking off, essentially, she said, I got beat up by my dad and my brother in the same day. I ain't trying to go through this shit. All right.
Come on, whoever want to leave can leave.
I got beat up with my fucking father and my brother on one day. I don't give a fuck about it.
Hey, we'll talk to y'all soon.
What the fuck does that tell you? What the fuck does that tell you about the mindset of the people that they're bringing on? That is someone that isn't in a healthy mindset because they weren't brought up in a healthy situation. You brought up with your dad and your brother beating up on you like that and just talking about it like it's just not a big deal. You see what I'm saying? So this is the kind of mentality and psychology of the women that they're bringing onto the show. They're damaged. They're all damaged. And then these guys get on top of them in terms of like with the grilling them on all these questions and stats they don't fucking know about, and they answer them of course they're gonna answer them in a dumb, ignorant way that's gonna get you Fresh and Fit fanboys all riled up and saying, oh God, yeah, this is what we thought all along. These women are hoes, this woman are sluts, this woman are all that. Not knowing that they are carefully selecting an image so you can buy into to keep feeding into this nonsense. Young men, you have to wake up from this shit. You have to. Like I said, there is a war going on right now, a civil war going on within the male self-improvement space. And I think it's a battle for the real ones versus the fake ones, all right? And it's a huge battle. And y'all already know what side I'm on. I'm on the side of real, all right? I'm on the side of, yo, we gonna keep it straight. Y'all motherfuckers are teaching our youth, a whole generation of men, to be the very same assholes your daughters are gonna be dealing with. And enough's enough. Because ultimately, as much as we like to fucking hide this shit, right, and put our blames on women and all this shit, it's our fault. It is our fault. Because we, A, are not providing proper role models for our youth, and B, we're selling them a fucking dream that isn't real. All these materialistic shit, it isn't real. So keep that in mind. Pay attention who you listen to. These guys, they are not the right influencers. They are not the right matter of fact, they're fake gurus. They're fake gurus. So pay attention, guys. Pay real close attention. I mean, this one kind of heated me a little bit just because there's a lot of stuff going on that shouldn't have went on. My nigga got Tim's on. My nigga came with the Tim's on. Oh shit. Hey, I just have to point that out. But I'm letting you know right now, you guys got to be careful out there, man. If you see your role models acting like this, you see both of them acting like this, these aren't people that you're supposed to follow. These aren't people that are meant to be your leaders. Now, in this case, Ayendi, listen, bro, you better come with them motherfucking receipts. You and Lars J. Y'all got to come with them fucking receipts, bro. Like, I mean, now you almost damn near have to, because what you've inadvertently done, you have given these bozos more power, more leverage, and more kind of material essentially for their base to kind of dig in and anchor in. You have just made it that much harder to reach those young men these guys are corrupting. That's what you did, and that's why I'm angry that this happened, is because we let ourselves stoop down to these levels. So we got to start waking up a bunch of people out here, because there is some fraudulent forgery going on, and we sitting on the right side of things here have to put a stop to this. We have to call out all of this bullshit. All of it. And that's really all I got for you guys today.